In being dancing, she was dancing. She was remembering having been dancing. She was believing in, thinking in meaning, being, existing. She was being one, going to be moving in any direction. She was being one who had not been dancing. She was being one, leading and following every moving in any direction. She was being one dancing. In being one dancing, she was being one dancing. In dancing, she was doing that thing she was doing dancing. In doing dancing, she was dancing. In being dancing, she was dancing. She was remembering having been dancing. She was believing in, thinking in meaning, being, existing. She was being one, going to be moving in any direction. She was being one who had not been dancing. She was being one, leading and following every moving in any direction. She was being one dancing. In being one dancing, she was being one dancing. In dancing, she was doing that thing she was doing dancing. In doing dancing, she was dancing.
In the Symposium, Plato tells of a speech given by Aristophanes. "There were once 3 kinds of human beings," began Aristophanes: male, female, and the fusion of the 2. The shape of each human being was completely round, back and sides in a circle. 4 hands each, and as many legs as hands. 2 faces, exactly alike, on a rounded neck. 2 sets of sexual organs. They walked upright, as we do now. But when they wanted to run fast, they thrust out all their 8 limbs and spun them rapidly as gymnasts in a cartwheel. The male kind was an offspring of the sun. The female came from the earth. The 3rd kind belonged to the moon. They were powerful enough to make the gods feel threatened. They were strong enough to harbor ambitions. Zeus and others gathered in their war room. "I shall now cut each of them in 2, Zeus said. 1 stroke, and their strength is gone. 1 stroke, and their numbers are doubled. So they can worship us and sacrifice us twice as much. 1 stroke, and they are forever bound to search for their other half, weak in their need for the other." Zeus's stroke of genius. And so Plato tells us, Aristophanes said of Zeus, he cut those human beings in 2, the way people cut sorb apples before they dry them, or the way they cut eggs with hairs. Each of us, then, is half of a human whole. Each of us, once, was sliced like a flatfish. The message is clear. We must search for our matching halves. The message is clear. Only gods do the cutting. Only gods do the cutting. When a general dies, his army cuts off their hair. When a general dies, his army cuts off manes of their horses. Not just any general, mind you, the general born to be a general. Mecisteus, the Persian general, slain by Athenians, worshipped by Persians. Hephaestion, the general in Alexander the Great's army. Plutarch wrote, Alexander's grief was uncontrollable. Plutarch wrote, he ordered all flute and other music to stop. He ordered the manes and tails of all horses to be shorn. Cut to lay grief bare. Cut to stop memory fading. Cut so the world doesn't dare stay the same. Aristophanes said, long ago our nature was not what it is now. Kriya is a Hebrew word for tearing. The instructions are clear. When mourning a parent, tear on the left side. For all others, tear on the right. Wear clothing fit for tearing. Make a small incision near your heart. Tear downward from the incision. Tear to let them know you refuse to be comforted. Tear because we are all rearranged by loss. Tear because your body cannot hold your heart in. Not today. Not anymore. Zeus said, they shall walk upright on 2 legs, but if they do not keep the peace, I will cut them in 2 again, and they'll have to make their way on 1 leg. I cut, said Princess Diana. I cut my arms and my legs. 200 million people watched her say, I cut, in 1995. We have cut ourselves from the time immemorial. We, people, have cut ourselves from the time immemorial. Herodotus wrote of a Spartan leader fast bound. While the guards were not looking, he asked his serf to lend him his knife. As soon as the knife was in his hands, he began to mutilate himself, beginning on his shins. Cut to stop the pain. Cut to feel the pain. Cut to heal yourself. Cut to become whole. The instructions are clear. We must search for our matching halves. The instructions are clear. Only gods do the cutting. Each one of us once was sliced like a flatfish. Each one of us is sliced like a flatfish. The instructions are clear. Cut to become whole. Cut because we are all rearranged by loss. Cut so the world doesn't dare stay the same.